The warthog has drawn the short straw on the African grassland as an easy target for cheetah, lion, and leopard. Fewer than 50% of piglets ever see their first birthday. But this year, a young mother will face these terrible odds and try to raise her family to adulthood. She must learn from the lessons of her past and face her enemies with intelligence and determination. These are the challenges of Mother Warthog. Dawn ushers in another spectacular day in Africa. Home to one of the greatest assemblies of mammals in the world. The continent can boast of the tallest and largest land animals. But it's the diversity of creatures that sets it apart. The mighty, the meek, and the robust. This is Half-Tusk, the matriarch of a small family group, or sounder of warthogs. 2 months ago, she gave birth to this season's litter. 3 females, full of the joys of life. Half-Tusk also has 2 older daughters, Mini-Tusk and Bristles, the only survivors of her previous litter of 5. Half-Tusk has never raised an entire litter to adulthood. 3 powerful enemies have killed half her brood 4 years in a row. This year, she'll struggle hard to ensure all 3 females survive. Half-Tusk and her family live in the Linyanti Wildlife Reserve in Botswana, a pristine African wonderland. They spend most days feeding on grassy clearings where there's an unobstructed view in all directions to see the approach of any predator. The warthog's home range has 3 similar clearings with rich foraging opportunities, because numerous pools and puddles guarantee lush grazing well into the dry season. The grassy patches are bordered by bushveld woodland. These shady woods hide an enemy. It's leopard's territory. But sometimes the warthogs are tempted into leopard's darkness by rich pickings on the forest floor. To the west of the woodlands, the savanna grasslands are the perfect sprinting ground for cheetah. Normally, Half-Tusk avoids this area of dry grass, but occasionally she brings the family here to dig for the trove of juicy roots hidden underground. And cheetah's not the only enemy to be wary of on these grasslands. To the south, below the clearings lies the Savuti Channel, Half-Tusk's only natural boundary against an attack and the family's regular source of water. In this predator-rich area, the grassy clearings offer the warthogs island refuges amid an ocean of dangers. But today, only 5 warthogs forage together. Mini-Tusk recently became a mother herself and is underground, nursing the sounder's 7th member, a young male. Half-Tusk grazes nearby to keep an eye out for danger. There's a bonus on offer this morning. The grass seeds are ripe and the warthogs shred the stalks like corn on the cob. Grasses form the major part of a warthog's diet, and as the seasons turn, the warthogs utilize every section of this versatile plant. While Bristles drops to her wrists for easier access, Half-Tusk remains standing, ever alert and watching. Today, her vigilance is rewarded. The piglets freeze at their mother's warning. It's a casual head turn, but it's enough to betray him. Half-Tusk and Cheetah are old adversaries. She learned a harsh lesson from Cheetah last year. Exposed on the grasslands without the safety of an escape burrow nearby, Cheetah ran down the first of her piglets. Half-Tusk could only watch helplessly as her young son struggled for his life. It won't happen today. In the clearing, Warthog and Cheetah are evenly matched. Here, Half-Tusk has access to more than a dozen possible escape burrows. She will easily get her family underground in time. And Cheetah won't attempt a direct attack on a burrow. He tried once and almost lost an eye. Half-Tusk knows the precise structure and location of every hole in her home range. Often the disused burrows of other animals, which she modifies for their use. Some are called bolt holes, shallow caves on level ground that offer protection against cheetah, but are insubstantial against the power of lion or leopard. She also uses erosion gully holes, which are larger and have 2 or more entrances. They are superior burrows to bolt holes, but can still be penetrated. Against the stronger predators, Half-Tusk uses her deepest, most solid structures. These are her overnight burrows. They have a single entrance and narrow passageways, which end in an antechamber where the family sleeps together. With night approaching and Cheetah on the prowl, Half-Tusk leads the family straight to one of their overnight burrows. A grunt warns her daughter Mini-Tusk of their arrival. Half-Tusk may have won this round, but Cheetah's not going to let her forget him that quickly. He urinates to mark his territory and brazenly claims ownership of the clearing. Confirmation that he intends to stay in the area. It's dusk, but Cheetah continues with his demonstrations of dominance. He can smell their piggy presence everywhere and is drawn to obscure it with his own scent. This symbolic victory is the best he can hope for tonight. Only when she is certain the danger is past does Half-Tusk join her family underground. She enters backwards so that her formidable tusks face any enemy foolish enough to intrude. Few animals are as strictly diurnal as the warthog. Their holes provide warmth and safety through the long night, and even if a burrow comes under direct attack, their common response is to sit tight. At first light, The family leaves the burrow to forage along the riverbank. Even Minnie Tusk makes an appearance today. She is spring cleaning to mark an auspicious occasion. She summons her baby son for his first day outside the burrow. The female piglets abandon their foraging and eagerly come to welcome their nephew. The youngster has a quick greeting for Minnie Tusk, and then she's off to fetch the baby, allowing the new mum to focus on some much-needed food. A warthog spends an average of 8 hours a day feeding, and the family settles into their morning routine. Baby is not convinced, but the family is too busy grazing to pay him much notice. The older piglets crop the grass like pros until a familiar scent draws them away. Nothing beats the taste of milk, and the youngsters can tell that Half Tusk is ready to suckle. Baby also smells the milk and tries to find a teat. Warthogs do practice allo-sucking, where females nurse each other's offspring. Baby's not up to the challenge. He doesn't want a varied diet, just the familiarity of mum. But Minnie Tusk is hungry and won't accommodate her youngster. So while the girls relax under Half Tusk, Baby has to contend with a moving target. Mother and son come to an agreeable arrangement, and soon, contented sucking is the only sound to be heard in the clearing. With Half Tusk on guard, the piglets can focus entirely on filling their bellies. "20 seconds later, and it's all over. The two mothers will need a 40-minute break to build up their milk reserves. But the youngsters, now supercharged with mammalian jet fuel, have energy in abundance. The clearing is the perfect place for a game of tag. Till Half Tusk moves them firmly towards the woods. There is food here that the family hasn't sampled in a while. For the piglets, the woods are an exciting new playground. These bouts of crazy activity and manic fun are an important part of growing up for young warthogs. Their incredible turn of speed can save their lives one day, handy in a dangerous place like the forest. Half-Tusk is grateful for the support of the neighbours. They are the reason she feels comfortable in the woods. The trees and bushes restrict her vision, but with their height, the baboons and impalas have a clear view. An impala saves the day. Leopard's hiding place is revealed. It's time to leave the forest. Half-Tusk and her family return to the clearing. She must put some distance between them and get back to the burrows. From afar, it's easy to confuse cheetah and leopard. But Half-Tusk has learned to recognize leopard's bigger head and stockier body. It's important for the family to know the difference between them. Leopard is much stronger than cheetah, powerful enough to face a full-grown warthog or a piglet. And unlike cheetah, leopard will make a direct attack on a burrow. Half-Tusk was unprepared last season and had to watch a second son struggle helplessly to his death. She won't lose another piglet. Her overnight burrows are much deeper now. Lesson learned. The warthogs aren't the only ones watching leopard. All the neighbours need to be wary of him. Half-Tusk gets the family back to their secure overnight burrow. She has more than 6 dotted around the 3 clearings. This hole has a deep passageway with a single sleeping chamber and should keep them all safe till morning. As night settles over the African bush, a new cast of characters takes centre stage. Specially adapted for life in the dark, the nocturnal world takes over when the sun lovers slumber. Tonight, leopard loses top billing. Every animal gives way to the biggest African cat. But lion is unconcerned with leopard. He has dinner on his mind, and he's prepared to work for it. It will be the ultimate test on Half-Tusk's home. Very few holes can withstand an attack from a lion, let alone 2. The smell of the 7 warm bodies underground drives them on. All Half-Tusk can do is sit tight through the onslaught. But lions can't dig all night, and one male eventually gives up. The burrow is too deep, and Lion searches for an easier meal. Silence falls at last. Sunrise burns away the terrors of night. When the sun is high in the sky, Half-Tusk takes the family to the clearing. Here, she can forage and guard the sounder without the neighbours. Baby manages some grass today, but immediately follows the girls when it's time to suckle. He is still not comfortable away from his mum. But when the milk dries up under Half-Tusk, the girls are quite prepared to swap mothers. At 2 months old, they can time their feeding to monopolise the milk. Baby will have to accept a lower pecking order. While his position in the family is clear, the girls challenge each other at every opportunity. Tusk wrestling has its own rules and regulations, and it seems the piglets keep at it long after the winner has been confirmed. Pushing duels are punctuated with furious sideways swipes. Baby must perfect these moves at an early age, because as a mature male boar, he will win mating rights as the wrestling champion. A quick grunt lets the piglets know it's time to go to the mud pool. Warthogs have a complex communication system, particularly in a maternal sounder, where it can be a tool to keep youngsters safe. Different sounds denote a greeting, a warning, or a location call to summon piglets, sometimes at super low frequencies, undetectable to human ears. No one can mistake these snorts of contentment. The warthog's day spa is therapeutic and fun. It's great for beating the heat of summer, and a mud pack keeps annoying visitors at bay. And in this family, you're allowed to drink the bathwater. What better way to dry off than with some tusk wrestling? Half-Tusk hears the warning and instructs the family to run. Cheetah is on the clearing, and Half-Tusk wants to be close to their bolt holes if he decides to attack. The tree squirrel bravely keeps up the alarm. Close to their holes, the warthogs can safely observe Cheetah's movements. He's drawn to the sandy bank of their mud pool. Their scent permeates the area. Foiled in his second attempt to catch a warthog, Cheetah must make do with mud and feces. But But for how long will he be satisfied with such insubstantial rewards? When he switches into stalk mode, the warthog family goes to ground. One of the neighbors didn't heed the squirrel's warning. Nothing in Africa can run faster than a cheetah, and impala can't hide in holes. The herd loses a lamb. When Cheetah leaves with his prize, the sounder re-emerges. Except Mini Tusk, who uses the opportunity to work on the bolt hole. After an eventful day, Half Tusk knows that food will restore the family's peace. She takes them to a different clearing to help familiarize Baby with their entire home range. Baby smells his mum's droppings and begins to eat. While humans find this practice disgusting, it is vital for young piglets. When they are born, their intestines do not contain the bacteria they need to digest grass. Their mother's feces prepare their guts for life as a vegetarian. But the respite on the clearing is short-lived. The resident boar has noticed these uninvited guests and is in no mood to be sociable. Half Tusk is not worried. Usually the boar tolerates her female sounder. Her attempts to placate him are not working today, and then she sees why. The boar is gunning for Baby. Even a 3-week-old male is one too many on his turf. The family resumes their trek. And now they're heading straight for the savanna grasslands. It's a good day to forage on these open plains. Half Tusk doesn't have to worry about an attack from Cheetah because he's just enjoyed a meal. The impala are also visibly relaxed. But in Africa, it's never a good idea to let your guard down. Blissfully unaware of Lioness, the warthogs get down to their favourite pastime, eating. They don't eat the dry grass stalks, but dig for the juicy rhizomes buried underground. Warthogs have a special tool to help them lift the hard, baked earth. not their tusks, but their noses. A strengthened nasal bone and movable nose disc turn their snouts into powerful shovels. They cover the grassland with tiny craters, but as they scoop out the earth, their vision is more and more obscured. Lioness takes advantage of all this dust. When Half-Tusk sees Lioness, it's too late to get the family back to the clearing. If she attacks, they will have to run for it and try to tire Lioness out. But this strategy failed the last time Half-Tusk tried it. Her tiny daughter couldn't dodge out of the way, and Half-Tusk was too far away to help. Lioness attacks. It's a repeat of last season as Lioness locks onto one of the female piglets. Half-Tusk keeps close, offering encouragement with grunts and growls. Her youngster must remember her lessons in the forest. Lightning-quick direction changes will be her only chance. The young female is doing well. She can hear her mum and darts out of danger. The family tries to help, but Lioness is not distracted. It's now a battle of endurance, and so far it's a dead heat. And then it's all over. Lioness gives up. The piglet is safe. It's a great victory for the warthogs. Half-Tusk has kept her family intact. They have survived against the champion of Africa. After such intense stress, the body shuts down and the piglets can't go another step. Half-Tusk and her older daughters accept their babysitting duties. They can use the time to build up their strength. But the youngsters seem to need the tactile assurance of family. It's not safe for a long rest, and Half-Tusk leads them to the burrow earlier than usual. She's done well to get them through this ordeal, but her three adversaries won't leave them alone for long. Nothing attracts a meat-eater more than the promise of fresh blood. The day begins much the same as any other. Morning finds the family on the clearing for breakfast. is now a converted grass enthusiast. Completely at ease in the clearing, the warthogs drop onto their wrists to get closer to the base of the grass stalks. It's a unique ability that warthogs possess, and special wrist pads help to make it more comfortable. This thicker, calloused skin is even present in the womb. Across the channel, Cheetah watches the morning's activities with interest. Twice, he has been unsuccessful when he approached the clearing from the grasslands. It's time for a new strategy. Half-Tusk never guards her water boundary. It will be an ambush. Cheetah heads for the middle of the clearing. The sounder scatters. But he wasn't close enough when he started his attack, and he won't pursue them if they go underground. Half-Tusk, her 3 piglets and Bristles head for an overnight burrow. Baby and Mini Tusk get separated and find an erosion gully. Half-Tusk looks out for her daughter, but Cheetah is right between the 2 holes. Mini Tusk knows it's useless to make a run for it against this predator. Cheetah is counting on the daughter to head for her mother's burrow, and creeps closer. He can't risk injuring himself in a confrontation with Mini Tusk. But it's not Mum he wants. It's not worth the risk. Minnie Tusk and Baby will spend the night alone. Misfortune creates new opportunities. Leopard saw the entire standoff. And he doesn't intend to wait like Cheetah. Just like in the forest, his strategy is to catch his victims off guard. Leopard can see the daughter in the entrance of the burrow, but he's not heading for the front door. He knows erosion gullies have many entrances. The baby makes an easy meal. There's nothing Half Tusk can do. Half Tusk and the rest of the family have no idea what to expect at the other burrow. Half Tusk can smell the burrow is empty, but checks anyway. She won't find her daughter today. For 8 hours, hidden in the darkness, Minnie Tusk waited for Baby. At sunrise, she searched the clearing, but found no sign of her son or Leopard. With full and aching udders, she came to the mud pool for some relief. Her milk will eventually dry up, but it'll take time for her body to process loss. Nature has time in abundance. Spring is in no rush to follow winter, yet it always arrives. Night breaks the heat of the day. And though the wait may be long, life-giving rain rejuvenates the sun-baked earth. Seasons follow in strict order, and the cycle of life pulls the warthogs along with everything else. Half Tusk has been through 4 seasons of loss. She knows the healing quality of time. This is the first year she has successfully raised all of her piglets. At 8 months old, her young daughters are past their most vulnerable stage and can fend for themselves. Like her mother, Minnie Tusk will use her experience of loss as a lesson for the future. A future that arrives sooner than expected. It's time to breed, and the bachelor boars have come courting. Minnie Tusk gets another chance at motherhood. As her brood claims their independence, Half Tusk can no longer be there all the time or anticipate every possible danger. They will have to face challenges alone, secure in the lessons she has taught them. But she has prepared them well to face the trials ahead. Her care and leadership have given her youngsters the best start in life. It's the gift of every good mother. Greatest assemblies of mammals in the world. The continent can boast of the tallest and largest land animals. But it's the diversity of creatures that sets it apart. The mighty, the meek, and the robust. This is Half Tusk, the matriarch of a small family group, or sounder of warthogs. 2 months ago, she gave birth to this season's litter. 3 females, full of the joys of life. Half Tusk also has 2 older daughters, Minnie Tusk and Bristles, the only survivors of her previous litters, because numerous pools and puddles guarantee lush grazing well into the dry season. The grassy patches are bordered by bush-felled woodland. These shady woods hide an enemy. It's leopards' territory. But sometimes the warthogs are tempted into leopards' darkness by rich pickings on the forest floor. To the west of the woodlands, the savanna grasslands are the perfect sprinting ground for cheetah. Normally, Half Tusk avoids this area of dry grass, but occasionally she brings the family here to dig for the trove of juicy roots hidden underground. And cheetah's not the only enemy to be wary of on these grasslands. To the south, below the clearings, lies the Savuti Channel, Half Tusk's only natural boundary against an attack and the family's regular source of water. In this predator-rich area, the grassy clearings offer the warthogs island refuges amid an ocean of dangers. But today, only 5 warthogs forage together. Minnie Tusk recently became a mother herself and is underground, nursing the Sounder's 7th member, a young male. Half Tusk grazes nearby to keep an eye out for danger. There's a boneter of 5. Half Tusk has never raised an entire litter to adulthood. 3 powerful enemies have killed half her brood 4 years in a row. This year, she'll struggle hard to ensure all 3 females survive. Half Tusk and her family live in the Linyanti Wildlife Reserve in Botswana, a pristine African wonderland. They spend most days feeding on grassy clearings where there's an unobstructed view in all directions to see the approach of any predator. The warthog's home range has 3 similar clearings with rich foraging opportunities. The warthog has drawn the short straw on the African grassland as an easy target for cheetah, lion, and leopard. Fewer than 50% of piglets ever see their first birthday. But this year, a young mother will face these terrible odds and try to raise her family to adulthood. She must learn from the lessons of her past and face her enemies with intelligence and determination. These are the challenges of Mother Warthog. Dawn ushers in another spectacular day in Africa, home to one of the great